so lucky to be able to do that. But obviously you're not going to post all the, the times you're awake at 3 o'clock in the morning going, what am I doing? Like, am I still going to have a job when I get back? And how am I going to, you only post the good sides, right? And so, it can be fake in a way. And a lot of people, I think, some friends of mine who are musicians who are like, no, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on social media. So how do I get a gig? And I say, well, the way it works is that now you're sending a link, you'll send a YouTube video, or you send something via the internet. And if you're kind of not on the internet, unfortunately, people aren't really going to give you a chance unless there's something they can, actually see. Like, so whatever about social media, it's a wonderful thing because you can connect and but yeah, I do often laugh. I mean, I wonder how my reactions would be. I have a dog too, so, I'm not going to post a picture of myself picking up my dog's poo with a plastic bag on the street when I'm walking her in the evening because, well, that's really, but that's my real life. Do you know what I mean? Yep. Anyway. Yeah.
Well, I think I got the fourth caller that I was hoping to get as well. But really quickly, before I bring in MC Mahogany Magnetic, I have a question for the two of you, Robin and Linda. You mentioned jobs, and of course, Elizabeth is right about her job. She's right about being a flight attendant and these funny stories. But a lot of times, our creative people also have to have jobs, because I know I work for a testing company, and of course I work at Haytime, and that's actually a part-time job, even though sometimes feels more like a full-time job. And I do my show and a lot of my other creative things with Lee Entertainment and everything. But we have to have money in order to live. So do both of you have 9-to-5 jobs, and how do you tie the 9-to-5 job to your work?
Well, I've got I teach English. That's my day job, and I absolutely adore my job. Like, I really, really love it. And I've been at that college for 11 years. That's in Cork, and they're just amazing because they're really supportive, and they give me the time off when I need to go and travel. I mean, obviously it's not paid time off, but they allow me the freedom to go. This year I was here in March, and then I was in Germany and the Czech Republic between then and now I'm back here, and they allow me to take that time off, which is just so supportive and incredible, really. But I'm also very lucky in that I love my job. So, I think there are so many people who go to work in the morning and hate what they do, and I genuinely love it. So I feel quite good about that. I feel very lucky.
Good. Sounds great. And what about you, Robin?
So to be on the opposite end of the spectrum of what Linda just said, I don't necessarily love my job, and forgive me if any of my coworkers are listening. It's a job, and it pays the bills. I would love, obviously, like most creative people, to, not have a 9-to-5 and, be able to just do what I love full time, because half the time I'm thinking about what I should be writing, what I could be writing, what the next story is going to be, all the time. And so it'd be nice if I didn't have to kind of, put that on the back burner, because obviously I have a job to do and I'm going to do it well, even though that's not really what I want to do. So, yes, I do have a 9-to-5. And it's hard because I have to find that time it's hard for me when I come home from work, I have to write, and I have to find time to write. So, and that's difficult because you want to focus on what you're good at.
Yeah, definitely. Really quickly, two things. One is I can definitely relate to that, because we don't always love the jobs that we do, because when I'm grading the test papers, it's a test grading company. So and it's very much, we talked about earlier about teaching to the test. So I don't even necessarily agree with what I'm doing sometimes for my 9-to-5 job. So sometimes we have jobs that we don't necessarily agree with. But I just wanted to bring in our final guest, which I believe is MC Mahogany Magnetic. So if you would, pull that guest in, Dean.
She's here.
Say that again. I'm here.
Hello, MC Mahogany Magnetic?
Yes.
How are you doing? I'm so glad that you're able to join this conversation. We're having a conversation with a lot of creatives, and I know I asked you to appear as well. And really quickly, I want you to really quickly, I'm just going to loop it in with the conversation. Elizabeth, I don't know if you've ever thought about or have experiences of traveling to either Alaska or Ireland.
I can barely hear you.
I said, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. Yes.
Okay. I said, I don't know if you've ever traveled to either Alaska or to Ireland, but or have stories about those places. But MC Mahogany Magnetic is a spoken word artist from Alaska. I told you, Dean, I was going to find somebody from Alaska. So I found somebody from Alaska. So MC Mahogany Magnetic is from Alaska and is also not afraid to deal with issues, because I know I read earlier today a Facebook post where they were talking about their experience with isms and how we live in America and we need to deal with America the way it is. So I don't know if you're willing to share that point with us now, if you're able to, but if you'll tell us a little bit about yourself. And I'm also very much interested because you apparently did a really powerful poem that shocked the heck out of the Alaska legislature. So I'd also love to hear that piece as well.
I do. Actually, I made sure to have those two on deck for you all. Yeah, I am MC Mahogany Magnetic. I'm a transgender woman. I'm a veteran of the U.S. Coast Guard. I've been living back here in Alaska since 2012 when I was medically retired for the Coast Guard for PTSD and bipolar disorder. So I don't work. I just have my little pension, but I go to school. And since I've been here, I finished my I got a second degree in English, the first one in anthropology, and now I'm working on my master's in creative writing and literary arts. So in addition to doing my poetry and stuff around town for fun and jokes and giggles and stuff, it has some political messages sometimes I like to share.
Yeah, so if you want to share that, particularly that one that you wrote this afternoon, I just found that to be so deep and so powerful. So if you'll start off with that one, and then I definitely want to hear the one that you wrote that, like I said, shocked the Alaska legislature. But if you could definitely share that one that you wrote earlier today, I would love to hear that one.
Yeah, I just shared it today. I wrote it last week because I was just like super mad, waking up hearing the news about the administration working to define what gender is, and setting those definitions. And like all these people I know, like all mad and upset and everything and stuff, and and I'm like, I'm also, beyond being a trans woman, I'm an African American woman. My experiences of being on the brink of non-existence has always been a threat, issue for me. So it's like, okay, I'm mad. Everybody's super mad. So I wrote this piece. It's called Super Mad. So this is verse 2. Super Mad, verse 2. Maybe folks are not studying a history. America has never been pretty. Not once has she entered a beauty pageant. Ill-gotten gains. It sure wasn't magic. She has never aspired to be a role model. Just roll over people, land, and cultures at full throttle, leaving behind a bloody past of isms and genocide. In plain sight, never a mask or a disguise, just ransack and burn down the village. Quiet as kept, she's even been salty to the privilege, or else there wouldn't be a legacy of countless wars. It's a shame, but she's also never a fallen star, just another inert meteorite that fell to the earth. Acid rain, polluted skies, it all hurts deeply to the core. America's never been beautiful, only an eyesore. For all of humanity, thinking she would be great again is insanity. All you got to do is step back for a panoramic view and a good look, and you won't ever be surprised or shook. My friend, in your despair, you're not alone. America's always been rotten to the bone. Thus, the real quest is to find beauty in the ugliness. Maybe then you will get on board and be the change and stop supporting the rules of an unfair game. With these digital armchair reactionary rants, America the Beautiful is taking you all to the bank. Account closed due to insufficient funds. The label you public enemy number one. Your happy-go-lucky ass is now criminalized and always a suspect. But if you ask MC Mahogany Magnetic, that's what you get. And that's why I stay blazing in my own zone. Reflecting on the words of Nina Simone, you have to learn to get up from the table when love is no longer being served. And ask yourself, is this what I deserve for accepting fear, false evidence appearing real, Bet you didn't know it was open season in the killing field. Got so scared to be a race of existence, hearing their name and genocide for the first time in the same sentence. And so now you're mad? Best be wise and think fast. Times are tough, but around the bend is more bad. So here's a case so you can be super mad.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely real powerful and everything.
Nice.
Now, we were talking earlier
Somebody
to Robin
is gonna
about...
be in their feelings.
Yeah. We were talking to Robin earlier about Colorado and the cultural scene there. You're in Alaska. So I cannot think that there's that much of a cultural scene in Alaska. Now, I know you're in a place that you call the Wonder Woman compound, but I was just wondering, what is the cultural scene like in Alaska?
Well, the thing I've loved about Alaska is, like I say, I'm an Army brat. So I graduated from East High School in 1994. And ever since I've traveled, every place I go and I tell people, oh, yeah, Alaska, I loved it. You know, the weather is beautiful, the people. And out of all the places I've traveled, I mean, I've been to many major cities and across the, you know, from Texas to New York and Atlanta and the whole nine. But no other place I've been has as much as diversity and celebrated and embraced love diversity as Alaska does. I know it sounds kind of odd because, like, you know, you're out here on the frontier and everything you see on TV is either, you know, fishing, hunting, or something like that, or, you know, we love, like, you know, people loving their guns and stuff. So, but I mean, it's an interesting place. It's an interesting place to be. I myself, because I'm the type of person that I don't like rolling any clique. I just like hang around with a lot of different people. And as an anthropologist, I'm like also like invested and want to learn more about different cultures. So I have friends, I mean, real close friends who are Samoan, who are Native Alaskan, you know, from all over the place. And I have a good time here. And there is a cultural scene. I mean, mind you, you know what I'm saying, after 10 or 11 o'clock, you're not going to be able to make it home on no public transportation, but that's about the worst it can get, you know.
That's not bad. Well, I mean, public transportation here in Durham stops at about midnight. So after midnight, if you're going to get home, you better think of Uber or something like that. But, you know, usually when I think of Alaska lately, I hate to put it this way, but when I think of Alaska, I sometimes think of Sarah Palin and that kind of conservatism that came out of Alaska. So I did not know that Alaska, and I did know that there was a native culture there, but I guess I wasn't thinking about it in that sense of it being as vibrant of a community as the way that you're describing it. So I'm going to definitely have to put Alaska on my list of places to go. I actually have a classmate, Tom Morfitt, that ran for political office and did not make it. I'm talking to him, been talking to him via email about trying to get him on the show. I think he was running for a office in Anchorage or something like that, but we went to school at Marquette. So he's in Alaska, and I know a couple of other people that have traveled there and told me how wonderful it is. And, of course, everybody talks about the Northern Lights. So I know that I've got to get there to see those at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you seen the Northern Lights?
Oh, you see them all the time. I mean, I think in the last, I think they say like the last 10 or 20 years now, you see them a lot less, and then you only see them at like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. But they have apps and stuff that you can look up to see when the Northern Lights are out and everything. So if it's deep in the wintertime and you find yourself up late at night, you can see them.
The first time I ever saw the Northern Lights was out of a cockpit window, and the whole sky in front of us was sprayed with green and blue. I thought a UFO was coming to get us. I didn't know what it was. It scared me.
Right, close encounters of the third kind.
It's amazing. It's beautiful.
Now, speaking of which, the other thing I think about Alaska is y'all have, like, daylight all day long. So, or at least during a time of the year, it's like long days. And so how were you able to, growing up in that neighborhood, is that just natural for you to cope with, or did you have to adapt to that?
Well, that's a loaded question for me. Well, for one, in the summertime, now it gets up to, you know, during the summer solstice, it's 23 hours of light. And the most, in terms of darkness that it gets, y'all may be familiar with, but it's just that moment right before dawn. If it's the darkest that it get, like during the summer. Now we're headed into the winter, in which, you know, after actually here after November 1st or whatever, you get up, you know, in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock, and it's dark, and by 5 o'clock it's dark. So